guys, Kimmy Vapes here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a spooktacular October 31st. Say hello to my little friend. What'd you guys think of that? Today we're going to be reviewing the IVPC Pod System by iJoy. Let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Okay, and here we have the iJoy VPC Pod Kit. This product was sent to me for the purpose of this review. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what it comes with. So inside your package, you're going to have your iJoy warranty card, your iJoy IVPC kit manual, the iJoy IVPC Pod System, and an accessory box. Inside that accessory box will be your USB charging cable. And here is the IVPC Pod System. So first thing we'll do is go over the specifications of the device. The size of the device is 80 millimeters tall by 20 millimeters thick by 30 millimeters wide. The pod's e-juice capacity is 2 mLs. The battery capacity is 350 mAh. The resistance of the coil in the pod is 1.6 ohms. Its max power is 9 watts. Charging time is 60 minutes. And of course, it does have a micro USB charging port there on the bottom. And the pod color is translucent black. So now how to operate this pod. This pod is a fire button activated pod device. So to turn on the device, you'll do 5 clicks. And I'm going to remove that pod because it's not filled right now. There is the screen, not easy to see on camera. I can see it okay in person. It's not the brightest screen. They definitely have like a smoky colored plastic over top of the screen. So it is dimmed down quite a bit. So obviously to vape the device, you'll simply hold the fire button while you're inhaling on the pod to vape on the device. There are power modes to this device, so 3 button clicks to go into the mode section. And then you're going to click the button each time to toggle through. So you have hard, soft, bypass, which is all of the output of the battery directly. You can also change the screen direction. Here, as you can see, is now the screen is facing this way. Let's go back in and we'll push that back to there. And what you do is you just allow it to exit out on its own and it will switch the screen for you. So now the screen is back this way. 1, 2, 3. So once you make your selection, just release and let the mod go back into its regular menu, and that will select the option for you. So here, if we just leave it on normal and let it exit out, now it's in normal, very normal voltage mode at 3.6 volts. So here is the pod. Now this pod comes with a coil and cotton and everything in it. These are disposable pods, so once you've filled them and used them, once the coil is done, burned out, you would throw away this part of the device and replace it with a new pod. So this pod does fill from the bottom. You'll simply pull up on this tab on the bottom and you'll place your e-liquid in this hole here. The e-liquid that I'm going to be using today is the Dinner Lady Salt Nic Lemon Tart. This is a 30 milligram of nicotine salts. It is a 70 VG 30 PG blend. So I'm just going to place my dropper, and it's a really nice large fill hole, so I have no problem getting my glass dropper in there at all. This obviously would be a lot faster with a squeeze bottle. There we go. So once we've filled our pod, let's go ahead and do one more. Replace the plug there. And now our pod has e-liquid in it. Not sure how well you can see that on camera. I can see it pretty okay in person. The camera makes it kind of hard to see the e-liquid in there. So now we can go ahead and replace our pod. And you want to make sure to let that pod sit for a little while before you fire it. Give it time for that cotton to saturate and soak up the e-liquid. That is the iJoy IVPC pod kit. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. Alright, and that was an up-close look at the IVPC Refillable Pod System by iJoy. So let's get right into it. What are my thoughts? Well, let's get into the pros first. First pro is going to be the fit and finish on this little guy right here. Everything about this guy is super pocket friendly. It's really light, compact. Really what I like about it too, as far as the ergonomics of it, is the flat bottom. So with the flat bottom, I can actually sit it down on my surface and I don't have to worry about it sitting on its side. It's always sitting straight up when I sit it down, and it's quite stable too. Next is going to be the little OLED screen. So you actually have a digital readout of your battery life and your voltage. What makes the IVPC unique here is the fact that you have different modes. You have your soft, which is a 3.4 volts, your normal, which is 3.6 volts, and your hard, which is 3.8 volts. Additionally, you do have the bypass mode, which I gotta say, on a pod device, bypass just seems ridiculous and wasted on me. I'm not impressed by a pod system having a bypass, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, it does also have bypass mode, and it has your puff reset counter as well, which again really isn't important to me. But what is important to me with this little pod system is that soft, normal, and hard mode, and the battery readout, being able to digitally see how much battery life is left on it. The next pro is going to be that you can flip the screen in the menu. 3 clicks to go into the menu, you can flip the screen. So you can either see the screen from this direction or this direction. I do like that you can do that on that readout. Additionally, the pod is really easy to fill. It's a 2 ml capacity pod, and you fill it from the bottom. As you can see here, I have had no leaking issues. This is my second filling on this pod, and it's still going strong. As far as the battery life on this, it's mediocre. It's not the longest battery life, but it's also not the least amount of battery life. If you want to get the most out of the battery life on this device, you're going to want to vape it in soft mode at 3.4 volts, and just be advised that if you vape it in hard mode, your battery's not going to last you as long as if you were vaping it in normal or soft mode. The draw on this pod is a loose mouth to lung. It has some restriction to the mouth to lung. I'll go ahead and demonstrate for you real quick. There's a mouth to lung, and I can do a really restrictive direct lung on this device. So you're definitely able to do both mouth to lung pulls and direct lung pulls, and that lends it to it being a looser mouth to lung draw on the device. I still think it will be satisfying for a smoker who is used to a tighter draw. Keep in mind, while this is recommended that you can use nicotine salt in here, just want to give a little disclaimer that if you're using high milligram nicotine, whether that be nicotine salt or freebase nicotine, if you're going to mouth to lung on this, I would recommend using a nic salt in it. If you buy this device and solely plan to direct lung on this device, I would say go ahead and choose a lower milligram freebase nicotine, like a 6 or a 9 or a 12 milligram or even a 3 milligram would work in here just fine. Right now I'm running the Dinner Lady 30 milligram nic salt in here, and it really does provide a nice satisfying vape. I get the nic fix that I'm looking for, and then when I feel like I'm satiated, I just put the device down. If I was vaping a 3 milligram, I would probably vape this more frequently throughout the day. Now, the one hard con that I do have for this device is that there is no pass-through while charging. So you can't pass through vape on this. When you plug it into charge, it has to charge. Now, it does have really fast charging on it, but the fact that you are basically without your device when you're charging, and it's a pod system. So this is something that a smoker transitioning would be using, and they really need to be able to have their device at all times to vape on. So just be aware that you cannot vape on this while charging it. A kind of a nitpicky con to it is that in bright light conditions, such as outside during peak daylight hours or inside if you have a lot of light shining, that screen can be a little hard to read on the device just because of the reflection coming off of that kind of smoked colored plastic there on the top. So that's a nitpicky con, but I did want to mention it because I did have difficulty reading the screen in bright sunlight as well as underneath my bright lights when I was doing the up and close. And that's everything I have to say about the IVPC Pod Kit by iJoy. If you guys like this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't already, click that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the little bell notification icon so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye. First pro is going to be the fit and finish.